Well, hello, I'm Alex, and today I've got a quick and easy creativity warm-up for you. Use this to give your brain a little reset, to try something new or different, or just to get out of a funk. You know how I'm always saying how simple it is to spend a few minutes a day in creative play? Well, I'm sure a lot of you are like, oh, that's easy for you to say, you're an artist. So, I'm making these videos for you to take tiny play breaks with me. This is your creativity timeout, baby. Just jump in and mess around with whatever supplies you've got on hand. No worries, I'm keeping this no fuss fabulous, easy peasy. Go ahead, check it out. Today we're making waves. Yay! So you can grab anything you've got on hand. If all you've got is a pencil, I've got a big chunky one here, or maybe a colored pencil. Markers are my favorite. I've got these big fat markers I want to use today. And what we're doing is just letting ourselves calm down, get centered by making waves. And this can go in any number of directions. Maybe you just enjoy drawing a wave and drawing another wave directly underneath it. Line after line after line. Well, I should say wavy line after wavy line. But maybe you let your hand flow a little bit more freely and you find yourself overlapping, making your waves bigger and bigger and bigger. Maybe you go back in. After you've created a bunch of crazy waves, you go back in and add sort of more structure to them. It's totally up to you. You might end up doing something like this. I would really love it if you just let yourself go. This is probably my favorite. And experiment. If we're going to spend about 10 to 15 minutes, so your first sheet of paper, and you can do this on scrap, that's not a problem. Your first sheet of paper could just be an experiment. And then you might say, oh, I really like what happened here, and then do that again. And of course, you could start with one color. Why not? Why not just start with one color? So I'm going to use this leftover sketchbook that I still have some pages in. I thought that would be fun. And let's just start. So if all you have is a pencil, let's do it. And instead of going across all of this, I think I might make this first one just a combination of what can be done. So, are you ready? All you have to do is make a wave, and then go underneath it and make another wave, and just let your hand flow. This should feel relaxing. This is a really nice warm-up. And you'd be surprised what just one kind of mark, in this case a pencil mark, the repetition of that one kind of mark is really nice. You'd be surprised with the result of it, you know. I mean, you could be listening to a podcast or something and just do pages and pages and pages of this, right? So I had to stop because someone was at the door. Anyway, you could just do pages and pages of this and have this really interesting design that you could use for collage making if you cut it up into fodder. So I'm going to stop with the pencil here, and now I'm going to do the colored pencil. which is basically the same, it's just more colorful. So I think I've got something here that I keep tripping over, but that's okay. So what if you made your waves like this, and what does that mean when you go in and make more? So feel free to get a little crazy with your waves, because that's when you start overlapping, and that's when things get kind of wild and crazy. So let's do markers, and so the opposite of doing one kind of mark, in this case pencil, and repeating that over and over, would be doing all kinds of marks with all kinds of colors. That's the extreme opposite, right? One color, one kind of mark, lots of colors, different kinds of marks. So how about we just see what our waves could look like? So that's the one I kept doing over here. This is the one I started to do. What if some of your waves go way beyond some of the others? So now we're getting more regular. And what if you start maybe adding some loops to your waves? If your wave was all loopy, I don't know if it would still technically be a wave, but it would look like that. And then what if you just combine? Like, what if you don't even try to do any specific thing, and you just fill your page like that? And you could, after you've done one color, you could come in with another color, right? I actually have to try really hard to keep remembering to do waves, because I just want to make marks all over the page. So I'm going to try a little harder to keep on assignment here. We're just making waves, but letting the weird mark making and fade into the background by adding a layer of waves over the top. So, what do you think? Okay. And now what I want you to do is just to continue for a few more minutes, but I want you to use your non-dominant hand. So instead of using my right hand, I'm going to use my left hand. And going from right to left. This is probably the best thing you could do, making waves with your non-dominant hand. You've got less control, and you really just end up letting your hand do whatever it wants to do. You sort of guide your hand, thinking about waves, and you let your hand move up and down. And if you want to concentrate, you can make it look, if you want to practice, you can make it look just as good as it might look with your dominant hand, honestly. But that takes more concentration. So, oops, I added a loop. So let's see. It takes more concentration to do something you're not used to with your non-dominant hand, obviously. So, is that a good thing? Yes, it's a great thing. If you're trying to get out of overthinking, or if you feel stuck on something, it's really good to concentrate. It's very focused, a focused attempt at doing something, and all your other thoughts just disappear because you're so focused on this. So if what you're needing is to stop thinking about something that's not very helpful, Go slow, take your time, and really try to control your non-dominant hand. Now the issue is I'm going from right to left. Sometimes I can't see what's happening here because my hand's in front of it. So how about we go the other direction, which would help me see better what I'm doing. So this is easier if I'm going in this direction with my non-dominant hand. It's easier for me to actually see what's above the line I'm drawing under. So these are definitely calmer lines as I concentrate more. And the slower I go, the more control I have. Calming waves. Calming waves. Calming all the way down. To reproducing the same kind of mark over and over and over again. With your dominant hand, with your non-dominant hand. With one color, with all your colors. So for this last little bit here, I'm just going to uncap all my colors. I've got a lot here. Maybe I should turn to a new page. Yeah, I'm going to turn to a new page. I'm going to keep going with my non-dominant hand. I'm going to start on a fresh page. Oops, and I went in the wrong direction. So I'm going to go back to doing it this way. But you know, you could be switching between one direction and the other. And then you could just keep going over and over again, and you would end up with a really beautiful page. You could cut it up and turn it into bookmarks. You can use it for collage fodder, or you can just leave it in a, if you drew it in a sketchbook, leave it in a sketchbook as a sketchbook page to remind you to come back and do some more calming waves whenever it feels right, whenever you need a little warm-up. Okay, I hope you had fun taking this tiny play break with me. Be honest, it was super easy. Because you know what? When it comes to your creativity, it's never about what you're making. It's about how you feel while making it, right? I've got lots more videos for you here on my YouTube channel, so subscribe, stay tuned, and play, play, play. Come back and gift yourself a daily dose of make stuff feel good energy. Thank you so much for being here. Sparkle on.